Welcome to the Financial Advisory Podcast, hosted by yours truly, Anthony Ficara.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Financial Advisory Podcast. And, it's a big welcome back for several reasons. One is that I have been getting a lot of requests and people asking me, where's the podcast, missing the podcast. I think we're 30 some episodes in, took a kind of hiatus, not on purpose, just life and work gets in the way. And then I'm like, I want to bring it back. I want to have the ability to do virtual, and I got to get some bigger guests on. And today's guest is just that. He is virtual because he's far away. He's in Las Vegas. I'm in Colorado. And the first person I wanted to bring on when we brought this thing back is none other than Jeff Fargo. So Jeff Fargo, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure.
Thank you. And if those of you don't know Jeff Fargo, you must not have TikTok. You may not have Instagram, because if you have either one of those platforms, he's all over them. That's how I found him. Just randomly, one day he appeared and he was everywhere. And it was like, this guy's fucking cool. And then over the past year or so, we've become friends. I've been on his show. We've hung out at events, and it's been awesome. So yeah, Jeff, you want to explain, I guess, how you got into podcasting? Because to me, it seemed like it was overnight, but I know that nothing's overnight, right? So how did it happen for you?
It was about 2 years ago now. I'm in Las Vegas, and my mom was in Tampa, and I'm an only child, and she was not well. And so I was spending every other weekend for almost 6 months going to Tampa to take care of her. And at that time, I was a title rep. I worked for a title insurance company here in town in real estate. And so I wanted to find a way to stay in front of my clients, and because I was gone all the time. So I thought, everyone's starting a podcast now. What if I did that? And let me see how that goes. And so I started doing that with bringing real estate agents. And that kind of, grew and evolved to where real estate content for the most part is boring as shit.
Oh, yeah.
So kind of morphed out of that, got fired from my job because I was doing too much content, which is turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because then at 53, I became a 1099 employee for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And and now have never been happier. Now my reach is anywhere from 7 to 12 million people a month on my podcast. And now I talk to everybody from porn stars to social media influencers here in Vegas to entrepreneurs. There's people that have a really good story, a lot like your podcast is. People that just have a good story, and what did they do to become successful? What are some of the gut punches they took? And then how did they get through that, that wall of misery and despair, which that's the true essence of an entrepreneur. And that's just kind of how it started.
That's awesome. I remember, I think the first clip and this may have been the first clip that went viral for you, was something about your kids being hard, right? Do you remember that clip? Was that their first big clip that went hard? Was that the one that went viral first?
That was the first one that reached over at 1 million views on Instagram. Okay. And it was me just saying that I love my kids. I hold my kids. I snuggle with my kids, but I don't coddle my kids.
Sure.
And the three words I say to my kids the most isn't "I love you," it's "figure it out." And
awesome, dude.
What really got people going was I said, if you put my kids years from now, when they're older, in front of other kids who are being coddled by helicopter parents, my kid's going to eat that kid's fucking lunch in a job interview or work performance, being growth mindset, and not always going to the boss to say, hey, can you help me out? Because my mom always did my fucking homework. So I expect you to help me out.
If it gets real in the jungle, they're going to kill your kids. Like, if it gets real, you know what I mean? Like, that's how tough versus not tough they're going to be. So I love that. Exactly. And I didn't know that about you. As we become closer, but that's exactly how I am with my kids. I mean, just the other day, my 17-year-old daughter wrecked her car. First thing I asked was, is she okay? Yep. Okay. Well, then good. She wrecked her car. Good. She got the experience of that almost unscathed. The damage of the car is minimal. It's going to be repairable. And she learned a lesson, right? Black ice, fucking don't be driving, watch the weather, check the temperature. Just everything we learn through life. Some of us learn that the harder way. Some people make that first accident and then they die. They never recover from that, or it's terrible. So I'm not the helicopter parents like, oh my God, baby, I'm so sorry. We should blame the road commission for not salting the fucking road or some shit. Like, there's parents and people out there that would blame other people. I'm like, good. You got in a car accident? Good. A little tough love, but I think that you align with that, and your kids will be the same version of that.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you're going to have that conversation, and that will probably happen to you as your kids get older and start driving too.
It's failing forward and just learning by mistakes. And if you're not raising your kids that way, you are failing as a parent.
Yeah, you should be embarrassed. Yeah.
That's
Love that.
pure and simple. And no one's perfect. No one has the perfect handbook on how to parent.
No.
We're all scared shitless when our kids are born, especially your firstborn. I've never been more terrified in my life when my daughter was born. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's now 15 years old. She's a great kid. She's like one of my best friends. And her and I work out together at the gym 3 to 4 days a week. And I've never been prouder as a dad to be with her. And my son in 2 more weeks is going to be 9. Fantastic kid. Is now taught himself how to play chess. So he taught me now how to play chess.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's just my kids are always looking to evolve.
Look at you! You're starting a new career at 53, learning how to play chess at 53. Working out all of a sudden. We're going to get you on some GRT very soon. Here, you're going to be a whole new man, brother.
That's coming, dude. I'm literally, longer life through pharmacology. I'm 55 now, but I plan on at least. I'm looking at triple digits easily.
Oh yeah. Looking at you, knowing how you are, I think a lot of it's mindset, right? You are one of the happiest, most positive people I ever encounter. I've gone through some shit, and we've talked, and it's like, just hearing you, like, it's just positivity, right? And that is a big determining factor of your lifespan, stress and all that stuff. You're killing it, man. I have no doubt you'll make it to 100 years old.
Thank you. It's something that I think that acts of service is my love language, and whether it's with my kids, my friends, like I know that you've gone through some gut punches lately as an entrepreneur. So often I'm texting you just saying, hey, checking on you. That's all. And that's all I'm doing is just looking to see how you're doing, if your head's in a good spot. If not, I'm here to talk. And I always do that with any of my friends that are just going through a rough spot, which any of us that as you reach levels of success, those challenges come up more often and they're bigger challenges to overcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about challenges. So you and I recently decided to get you some life insurance. I think you're like, okay, I made it this far without it, which is shocking. Okay, let's figure this out, and we talked and we got you on a policy. One of the things that came up during that, I hope you don't mind me talking about this, was basically your health wasn't as good as maybe you thought it was, right? And
dog shit.
But not everybody, I know people I've went through underwriting literally tell me, oh, your guys are full of shit. And it's like, why would they want the business? They don't want to tell you it's not in their best interest to decline people or to tell them they're like, dude, I'm sorry. So you took the other approach, which is a testament to how you raise your children of, oh, this is me. Let's look inward. Let's make changes. And nothing makes me happier than seeing what you've been doing. And you have been, a 180 of a person, all because of you getting your lab results saying, hey, fuck that. That's not me. I can fix this. And you have. So talk about that.
It was shocking to me, but also I'm the first one to advocate for myself. I don't have an avoidance mindset. I'm not going to blame it on anybody else. I am where I'm at, and there's medications I was on. I'm now off. Like I took myself off of Adderall about 2 months ago. I'm fine. I was taking Xanax, a half a Xanax at night to go to sleep. That's gone. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. Like I've literally, and now like my wife is an amazing cook, thank God, because I'm doing a gut cleanse. So for the next 6 months, hardly, now it's Christmas, but hardly any sugar, no dairy, no gluten. And just to kind of get rid of the toxins in my body.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was telling my daughter yesterday, I said, it's a reset for me because I'm on the back 9 of my life, but I know it's hole number 10. So I know I'll be around for a while still, but I want the best version of me. And it starts with your body, and then it resonates onto your brain. If you're fucking Jabba the Hutt, well then your brain is mush.
Yep.
Come on, y'all.
And so what I tell people is like, Father Time is undefeated. He can be gentle, but he's undefeated. Like, it's up to you how you make it last, right? And like you said, during the back half of your life, it could be diapers and fucking bullshit, or it can be, good, and then
Dude,
taper off.
that's
But like,
it.
yeah. So I think a lot of people I think 55 is no longer what it used to be. When we were kids, I mean, you're older than me, but my parents, I looked at them as old when they were in their 30s and 40s. And they felt old, and they acted old, and they talked like they were old, and they, bitched and moaned and fucking just, they were old. Now, like, fuck, I feel like I'm a kid still, I mean,
if you watch a movie that was made in like the 90s and somebody in that movie is 50,
yeah.
they look like they're fucking 80 now. They look like a Shar-Pei. Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And
I love
yeah, I just think that now through technology, through advances in our health system, that through pharmacology, that there is stuff out there now. Like when I played football in college, and a bunch of guys did steroids, but back then it was like, oh, you get bitch tits, you have roid rage, you have all this stuff. Well, now it's so not regulated, but so much better in terms of the research that there's stuff you could be taking that is going to help your overall performance and health, where you're not going to see these drastic side effects like you did years ago.
Yeah, and there's more education about it. There's better ways to do it.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of it's always been the stigma around it, right? It's been the negative press, the stigma. I mean, that's fucking propaganda. I think people underestimate the American propaganda machine and how powerful it is. And quite possibly the most powerful propaganda machine of all time has been the American propaganda machine. And people underestimate that, and it spills over in all aspects of life, including medication and all that shit. I mean, going on to the TRT thing, you and I have briefly talked about, like, one of the first things you said was, hell, my numbers are normal. And I was like, as a friend, okay, I want to let you know that I believe that's wrong, but respectfully, here's why it's wrong, and explain that. It's like, yeah, Western medicine has this chart of normal. And it's like, as long as you're not dead, you're essentially normal, and they don't want you on TRT, because think of what TRT does. It makes you more hungry, more aggressive, more of a man that wants to do things and maybe question authority and all these fucking things that makes you, and they don't want you on it. So it's very good for you. And I tell everybody over the age of about 30, go get your levels checked. Maybe you don't need it, but at least start entertaining the idea of it. Whereas 10 years ago, 15 years ago, oh, you don't need TRT, my testosterone comes from my balls. It's like, who cares where it comes from? Just get it in you, and I think hopefully that's something you look at, down the road. And
I am. I'm looking at it after the holidays in January. I talked to my guy here in Vegas, and he already has a whole protocol worked up for me, and I'm going to start, in January. Absolutely.
That's great.
Because also it's thank you. Well, and thank you for the motivation. It's something that, again, you can always go on it and go off. Like, that's okay. But I'd rather try something, give it like 6 months or a year, and see how I feel. What do I look like? What does my wife feel in terms of how am I acting? I'm blessed that I'm married to a nurse. So, she, my left shoulder is not great from football and lacrosse. So she shoots me with peptides. She sticks me. And so it's great to have a nurse in the house. And even she said, she's like, give it a shot with TRT. Yeah. And she's like, I'll tell you if you're being a dick.
Right.
And
I think she'd love to tell you that. She'd be happy to.
That's her job, as mine to her is unfiltered feedback. So I just think that as we get older now, like, I wish this technology and research had been done, sooner. But okay, it is what it is. Hindsight's 20/20. So I'm gonna do it. I'm a big advocate of just always evolving. And the minute you become just sedentary, you're done. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're fucking done. You can take breaks and you can have balance and go on vacation and do whatever, but when you're in work mode, you've got to be the most ferocious motherfucker on the planet with nothing and no one getting in your way. That's it. A no is horse shit. You keep going. You either get a fucking signed contract, a yes, or a restraining order. Full stop.
Exactly. Yep. My safe word is keep going. Exactly. And that's funny you say it like that, because I had an email chain. I posted on my story a couple of days ago, and I got an email chain. It was like, well, so-and-so is checked out for the holidays. Let's revisit this the second week of January. And I'm just like, fuck you. Nothing's too important to take a fucking 10-minute phone call. But people who and knowing those people they're not where they want to be. They're not that successful. They're not too big. They're not like, oh, I made it, I can take a month off. They're not where they should be because of shit like that. And it's like, if you don't have what you want yet, why are you taking fucking 3 weeks off for the holidays? You know, why are you taking all this? Like, dude, fucking take a few days off, enjoy it, whatever. But the holidays, including Thanksgiving, is 6 days. It's not 6 weeks. You know, you got Thanksgiving, day after. I'll give you the day after Thanksgiving. That's a holiday. Then you got Christmas Eve, and then you got New Year's and New Year's Eve. That's it.
Yeah.
6 fucking days. And most of the country checks out for 6 weeks because of that. And they use it as a fucking excuse. And look at where most of the country is, you know?
It is, to me, it's an excuse to give up.
And people are always looking for that. Yeah. If you give it to them, they're going to take it.
It's an excuse for a lifeline to not have to work. Mm-hmm. Fuck off. Seriously.
Fine by me, because right now the competition's really fucking low and I'm doing pretty good.
Well, that's awesome. Same. You know, it is something that this is when you double down. If you're an entrepreneur, especially, or any type of sales position, you double down because there's going to be people are more open to taking your phone call or returning your text or your email because other people that are in sales in your similar position have given up as well. And they're just kind of not doing anything for the next.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but we got to talk about one of our sponsors. Want to give a shout out to a company that's been helping me out, Momentum Commercial Capital. They offer help with business funding from working capital, equipment financing, SBA loans, and investment real estate financing, with options from single-family rentals up to large commercial properties. They also work with syndications to source funding. So if you're in a business or in real estate investing, or even just looking to get into them, check out Momentum Commercial Capital. Ask for Greg Funk and tell him I referred you. Once again, guys, if you are in need of any of these services, be sure to check them out at momentum-commercial-capital.com today.
Next week or so, which is total bullshit.
Yeah. I want to segue a little bit into your guest on your podcast and how you get them. And I mean, I know you are always looking and but you're kind of shifted a little bit. I know before, like I said, it was real estate mindset. Right now you got porn stars, right? And there's a pretty big range in between. Although some real estate girls look like porn stars. Let's not joke around there. But like they look like it. Maybe some of them are fucking moonlighting too. But at the same time, like definitely a wide range there. And some of your best content are these people that maybe have a stigma to their career, right? So talk about that and why you enjoy having them on.
I think it's my ADHD and that the guests I have on, Anthony, are people that I'd go out for drinks with or that I'd have a steak with at dinner, you know? And we just happen to be sitting in my studio with cameras and lights on and the microphone. And when you get in the pocket in the conversation, you don't even know the cameras are there. You're just having a great conversation with somebody, and it's earning the right to get them to be comfortable enough to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's the key to podcasting, is that you get someone to come in and they don't think the cameras are there, and it's not pulling the wool over their eyes. I'm not a TMZ gotcha podcaster.
No.
Right? It's more about let's just talk and tell me about you. And so, you know, for me, like I just had on Alice Little. Those clips are dropping now. She's a sex worker at a legal brothel in Pahrump, Nevada, where prostitution is legal. She has the record for the amount of money made. She made like $225 or $250 in a month. Now, I don't want to know what she did for it. We really didn't talk about that kind of stuff. But we talked more about the mechanics, like the actual financial stuff of what she does and did. So for me, it's all about just cool people. My next episode dropping on Sunday of next week is a guy that's in my opinion, the best show here in town is Absinthe, which is it's in a circus tent in the Round. It holds 600 people in front of Caesar's Palace. We were granted permission by the owners of the show to shoot on location in the Spiegel tent. So so we have Misha is this guy from Poland. He's like 6% body fat, shredded, one of the nicest guys on the planet. And we shot an hour episode right there on location in the Spiegel tent. And so, you know, and I have some banger guests that are booked in 2025 that I really don't want to talk about because I don't want to jinx it, because sometimes people cancel at the last minute, as you know.
We don't want to give it away either.
Sometimes.
When they drops, it drop. That's the fucking money shot. It's like, all right, bam. Look what I just had on. Like that's the cool part. It's not like, hey, look who I'm going to have. And that's another, kind of a little mini segue, I guess, would be like people who announce their goals and their plans. Like it drives me fucking nuts. Like I don't mind saying, hey, I got some big things coming, a little bit here and there, but show me what you did. Don't tell me what you're going to do. That what you're going to do shit is old. I don't even like talking about that too much with my friends, but like certainly not publicly. I just think it gets old and people fucking, oh, yeah, whatever, dude. But when they did something,
care.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's like if I'm your friend, or more, if I'm in your social media audience, I don't want to hear if I see new goals, new me, January 1st. I'm probably going to either unfollow you or mute you. I don't fucking care, dude, about some cursive font or some. You got a Cricut machine with vinyl lettering in your office now with some inspirational quote from Muhammad Ali behind you on Zoom calls. Fuck off.
Fuck off is right.
I don't care.
Yeah, it reminds me of like the resolutionists at the gym, right? All of a sudden, January 1st, gym's packed. And it's always like placing a side bet in my mind, like, okay, when is this place gonna fucking empty out? It's like, all right, it's February, is it March, is it January? I don't know. And it's the same thing with these people who get all fucking razzed up for the new year. It's like, dude, it's the same fucking, you're the same asshole who didn't get off the couch last year. What's going to change this year? Like, I don't know. Now that being said, I do like motivating people. I do like helping people, encouraging people. And then it's like, okay, if I can just get that motivation to stick and turn into a habit, you're fine. 90% of people aren't going to take that. But sometimes people, like yourself, right? You went through the medical and, had a little bit of motivation, but now it's habit. Now it's stuck. Now it's you. That's who you are now. And that's what I hold on to as far as hope when I do talk to people and help out people is every once in a while there's a Jeff Fargo out there that takes it seriously. Most times it's, oh yeah, brother, that's okay, cool. And I get mentally invested in them. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, well, dude, he just ordered 47 Happy Meals, you fat fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
Anthony, you can set a goal, or what? I don't even say goals. I just say, you know what? If you're going to change the way you're going to approach life, just do it. Don't post it. Don't fucking write it down to look at, to motivate you, or put on your bathroom mirror as you're shaving. Fuck off. Just do it.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned the gym.
Some people need that shit, man, and I don't know why.
Well, and again, I'm not shitting on the people that do it, but I am shitting on the people that do it, because just do it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. But my thing is like, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. When you mentioned the gym, it's funny you said that, because my son goes with us. He's in the kids academy at Lifetime Fitness, but I was telling Alex, my daughters were driving to here in my house last night. I said, honey, wait until you see the gym first of the year when we go in. It's going to be assholes to elbows around the free weights, the machines, everything, and then watch January 1st to February 1st how much of that falls off. Yeah. And all these people that spend all this money on this membership, and then they're gone because they don't stick with it. Where we started working out, like I think it was May or June. We started, and then really started October. Was like when I had the blood work done, and that's when it was like, all right, we got to get after this.
Yeah.
And so it can be January 1st, it can be August 1st. Just do it. It doesn't matter the date.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm torn on that because some part of me is empathetic, which is one of my probably least qualities I have is empathy, which I'm working on. But when people like that, I'm empathetic because like maybe they don't have what I have. I have it. I don't know how to teach it. I have it. I don't know why I have it. I don't want to unpack what I have gone through to get to where I am. Why I have it, and so my empathy is like, okay, maybe they just don't have it. Well, can it be taught? I don't know, maybe it's just how they're wired, and fuck them, is what it is. But like, maybe it's also not completely all their fault. I don't know what it is. It's a weird thing I have for people. It's like, I have it. I wish you had it. You don't have it. I can't teach you, whatever. But but not everyone has it for sure because it's obvious that they don't have it.
I think that you and I have the same trait that we care. We give a shit. We might come off as a bull in a china shop, which we do, but like if somebody asks me to help, I'll help. If I see somebody like at the grocery store, and I saw a lady at Costco 2 weeks ago. Is it like a hover round thing? And she's trying to reach up to get something. I saw her. I got it for her. Here you go. Can I get anything else for you? So it's not that we're being callous or disassociating ourselves from anybody, but also you get kicked in the nuts enough. You see that most people are full of shit, and they have the best intentions, but the road to hell was paved with good intentions. And so it's just, come on, y'all. If you're going to do it, just do it.
And you live in a town that's probably mostly full of people, mostly full of shit in Las Vegas. And it's a tough town I shouldn't say tough town, but someone like you has your radar up because of the town you live in. And it's like, okay, I can sense this shit more often. Yeah. Because the people there are faking it till they make it, and they're mostly faking it.
That's one of the worst things somebody could do in sales or as an entrepreneur is fake it till you make it. Especially when you're in sales, you're trying to earn someone's trust. I was in sales for years.
Yeah.
And to fake that is just bad. This is bad.
Karma. It comes out eventually.
It's just bad juju. It's just really bad. It's just bad juju. Here comes the cat. I didn't lock my office door, and so here comes the cat. Here comes Frankie.
Nice.
So it just comes down to, I guess in Vegas, everyone here, you just assume everyone here is full of shit.
Yeah.
Until they prove to you that they're not.
Yeah.
Because your radar is up, man. Like we mentioned before about like porn stars and real estate agents. The longest running joke was like around COVID when all the day clubs and nightclubs shut down, all the girls that were bottle service girls went and got their real estate license.
Yep.
And it happened. Like it happened. I know some. Okay. Yeah. Guys and girls that were in the nightclub industry that went and got, this will be easy. I'll go into real estate. Well, most of them got the real estate and failed.
I'll say when I see people do really well in real estate, I look at them and say, dude, how much better could you do in life insurance? Right? Because life insurance, they're both hard. I'm not going to say the one's easy or harder or whatever. They're both hard. But like life insurance, everybody I know needs what I have. A version of it, okay? If you're selling houses, not everybody you know is selling or buying. And some people sell or buy a house 2 or 3 times their entire lifetime, right? And it's like, life insurance, dude, if you don't have it, like, everyone needs a version of it. Like I said, talking to you, right?
Yeah.
You didn't think you needed it for 55 years, realize you needed it. You needed it. Now, you have a family. Everyone in your family needs it. Everyone in your family needs a version of it. So, like, I always look at those people in like any kind of sales job. I'm just like, dude, if you're in sales, why wouldn't you pick the sales job that paid the most and had the most opportunity? And like, I look at it, like, and whether you're selling solar, selling fucking swimming pools, selling fucking vacuums, like, why are you in sales at all if you're not selling and making the most money possible? And I think that just like people need to, I guess the message would be, if you're in sales, like, you should look at what you're selling. If you're doing well in your industry, like, what would that look like in a better industry?
I agree.
Real estate.
I know. Well, and we both know people that have made like a kind of a lateral sales move to a different sector and done even better because it's a better fit for them. So it's an excellent point that if you're in real estate or any type of a volume based sales position, back when I was in real estate forever. I was in title and escrow for 10 years, and a lot of times whenever I went to buy a car, I would always check out the guys or girls who were, car salespeople, because they are hustling. They're getting their brains bashed in every day. And they're like a ping pong between the customer and the sales manager going back and forth to get the best price. And you're like, oh my God. And there were sometimes I was like, you ever consider real estate? Like, I have friends that are hiring that are very successful here in town in Vegas. I'm happy to connect you. You can probably make more money with less stress than selling cars.
Let's talk about that. I want to lean into the car thing. And I just saw, that's the thing that boggles my mind the most. Anything you go out and buy, there's a price. Okay, in a house is a little bit different. There's a negotiation on the price of a house because it's an individual seller. With a car, that's a dealership. That is a corporate entity. Even if it's privately owned, it's a big entity. Why is that still a thing that you get lied to? It's like commonly lied to, and they're taking advantage. Why is that still a thing? How is that still a thing in 2024?
I couldn't agree more with you that we've gotten so much smarter now. My last 3 cars I've bought all online. I don't go in. I don't like I know what I want already. I know what fits me because it's usually like one of my buddies already has that car.
Yeah.
So
you've done your own research. Yeah.
Right. So I already drove it. I'm 6'3", so I know I can fit in it and get into it okay. And I'm like, I'm ready to buy.
Don't show me the features. I know more than you. What is the fucking price?
Dude, you go through like there. I don't know how it is there, but like here in Vegas, I had to get my wife's got a Toyota, and then we had to get an SUV, and she had to get oil service done. I went to go pick her up because she had to drop it off. There's 4 guys in the parking lot waiting for me to park, like hyena, waiting for that like one zebra who's got a pulled Achilles that they're going to pounce on, like around the watering hole in the fucking Serengeti. You know. Come on, God! Like that's the most.
Get it.
It's this adversarial type of environment that they're creating, and having been a high-level sales guy for years, that's the last thing that I want. If I'm going to come in and spend 60, 70, 80, 100 grand plus on a vehicle, I don't want some guy, being all nice with a fucking members-only jacket on that says, auto.
Douchebag on it.
Yes, or the other one that drives me nuts.
What's up, guys? I'm sure you're enjoying the podcast. It's fucking awesome. I know. Okay. But let's talk about one of my sponsors, Alpine Moving Company. So we all know that moving sucks. Okay. Stop asking your buddies to fucking move you. It's always a problem. We know that. Be an adult. So use Alpine Moving Company. They know how to get the shit done. They offer residential and commercial moving. Also, they will move you anywhere within North America, anywhere in the lower 48, Canada, Mexico, and they're going to hook you up with 10% off. So discount code MOVE24. Make the right move.
Whenever they have a sale, they bang a gong.
Yeah. Fuck off. I just don't understand that's. Everybody knows we hate that. If I'm selling cars, I want to eliminate that environment, right? I think the only thing close to that right now is either Carvana or like what Tesla's doing. Here's our price. Click the fucking mouse, buy your car, right? Yeah. And honestly, that's probably going to happen. In our lifetime, that's probably going to happen universally. There's no reason it hasn't yet, except lobbyists of some kind or money's keeping that alive. Something's propping that up. I look at that model as like Blockbuster. It's being propped up for a while, and it's going to just go away one day.
I can speak to it because my last 2 cars have been Teslas, and I bought directly from Tesla. You don't talk to anybody. It's all on the app. I ordered what I wanted. It showed up at the dealership when I wanted it to. I'm good. And I want it that way. Like, I'm okay. Give me the best price. Okay, this is the price. Take it or leave it. There's no negotiation. Yeah. And I think it's the NADA, National Association, North American Dealers Association, NADA. They're a giant lobby organization in Washington, D.C. of all the car dealers, of all the members-only jacket-wearing car dealers. That's what it is, but it's
those are the dorks keeping this around. Yeah,
but like Carvana, CarMax, Tesla's got it. Tesla. I mean, it's because it's Elon Musk.
Yeah,
they have less people. It's all automated. It's all computerized. So why not do it that way? Because buying a car isn't an emotional decision. You know what you want.
Yeah. Now, that being said, though, playing devil's advocate, I want to be clear on one thing. I'm not trying to shit on these guys as you guys don't deserve to make a living. You deserve to make a living. But maybe, if you're in sales and you're good at sales, sell something else. There's other things that need to be sold. Yeah. But cars, I just don't think cars are one of them. On the flip side of that, there are some indecisive people. I mean, let's just be honest. Most of the fucking world is dumb. Okay? Yeah. So most of the world drives cars. Most of the world's buying cars. So maybe those people are what's keeping this thing up too, where they need to walk into a dealership and go, I don't know what I want to buy. Fucking sell me something. It's like, I kind of sometimes forget about the fact that not everyone operates like me or you, and that there are a bunch of dummies out there that maybe that's what those people are doing, and then they just piss off the minority, which is us. That might be it too. I don't know. But I fucking hate going to dealerships because I know what I want when I want it. Sometimes I'll go 3, 4, 5, 6 months ahead of time to just drive the car and drive separate cars. It's a longer term decision. And they're like, I can get this. I'm like, fuck off, dude. I'm here to drive the car. I'll decide. But that's also probably the minority when it comes to that.
Well, let me put it to you a little bit. What kind of SUV do you drive?
You put me on the spot. I drive a Bentley Bentayga.
Yes, you do. When you bought it, Did you buy it at the dealership?
I did.
What was the experience like?
It was actually pretty good.
Right?
Yeah, it was a higher end car.
Right?
Yeah.
Higher end car. You're not
Yeah.
going in there with a goddamn Groupon, Anthony.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're buying one of the best, most luxurious SUVs on the planet. And you've earned it. I'm not saying if you don't be embarrassed by it, which you're not, but
Right.
you've earned it. You work your ass off. But
Yeah.
I'm saying is that there's an expectation there
Sure.
when you go in to buy a Bentley, a Mercedes, a Lamborghini, whatever it is, a Ferrari, that price isn't the thing. It's more about what features, does it fit me? Does it have the things and bells and whistles inside that I like?
Yeah.
And that's it. That type of sales model is different than the Honda, Toyota,
Yeah.
type of sales, even like the lower high end stuff, like a Lexus or Infiniti. And to some extent, even like I had a Mercedes for a while. Same thing. It's just like, guys, give me your best price.
Yeah.
I know what I want. I know what I can afford. So either help me out or don't. So I think you're right that there's thousands of people that are out there that are in sales that are probably selling the wrong product and banging their head against the wall every single day and literally reaching only 40% of their true sales potential because they're selling the wrong product to the wrong audience.
I agree. And maybe we'll snip this clip right here, whatever, but it's a recruiting call. Dude, if you're already in sales, you're doing good, like, talk to me. And in life insurance, I don't see a way I couldn't double what you're making. I believe that. Because if you have any kind of success in any kind of sales, that means you have conviction in what you're selling. Once you learn what I learned about life insurance, you're going to have that conviction, if not more conviction. And I can't see how I don't double your sales. And I believe that. And if you're a pretty female with the drive of a dude like me, you're going to fucking take over the world. I am insanely jealous of you. Luckily for me and guys out there, most females don't have the drive that men do when it comes to it. They make the sales they need to make. They fuck off until they got to make more sales. Yeah. If you found a female out there, and they do exist, don't get me wrong, there's chicks out there, there's very seldom, that are 10 out of 10 on looks and 10 out of 10 on drive, they're fucking dominating the industry. So yeah, if you are already in sales of any kind, you would do very well in this industry. So,
and it's something that everyone needs life insurance. Everybody needs life insurance, and we've had this talk ad nauseum that. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to have a multi-million-dollar policy. Even just to get enough to cover expenses for your family upon, your death.
Yep.
At least
there's bare bones minimum shit, right? Exactly.
Yes.
You need something.
At least get that. And there's so many other different tentacles of where, yes, you can build wealth. Through, and that's your whole bailiwick, which is awesome. But for people, every single person, if you have any type of asset at all, if you have a family, you must have life insurance. You just have to. And because if not, you are putting a burden of tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars upon your family when you pass away. And there's nothing more selfish than that.
I would say the selfish part, right? Like I look at that as being selfish. It's like, hey, look around your family. If you care about them at all. Now, some people hate everybody, including their family. Then fuck off. Maybe the same for you. But if you have any compassion at all, you care about your family at all, if you're on semi-good terms, and you think about, okay, I'm gone tomorrow. What exactly happens? Process that in your brain. Does that credit card swipe at the fuel pump the next day? How close are you to, it could be that close. Now let's add on 30, 40, 50 grand for a funeral. I ain't got that kind of money. The fuck are we going to do? So when people actually stop and think about it, okay, that makes sense. So I was talking to my mom about this the other day, actually, because I put a policy on her. Because who's going to be on the hook for when she's gone? It'll be me and my brother. The rest of my family doesn't have any money. They're going to look at me and expect me to pay for it anyway. I might as well insure her to have that cost covered, right? And we were kind of joking about this, and it's the stigma of people, about your age, a little bit older, is life insurance is a scam and it's only there so my family gets rich or so they can whack me or take advantage of the policy. It's something must have happened back in the day for that to catch wildfire and rumors spread, and there's this stigma that's around for people at your age because it's common. People my mother's age, a little bit older, they're really against it. And it's Mom, understand you're going to go one day. Who the fuck do you think is going to have to take care of you of that situation? It's me. Are you saying that I deserve to have to fucking stop what I'm doing, take time off work? She lives in Tennessee. I got to go down to Tennessee, box up all your shit, auction it off, whatever the fuck it is, and then also bury you. The rest of the families around the country, they're going to have to fly in. I got to cover that fucking shit, like, or they just won't be able to come. What do you want? So when I broke it down to her like that, it wasn't that abrasive with my mother, but I mean, at the same time, like, I've made it pretty clear. She's like, oh, okay, I get it now. And, the policy's not that big. At her age and her health, it's pretty expensive. But overall, like, it's worth it. So
it's still a net for her, for her to do that. And that's what, for me, it was a no-brainer to do it. And once we talked about it, it was a no-brainer. And that I wanted it, especially because, for my wife to have, enough there that it's, multiple years that she'll be fine and she could live off the interest of of that if she invests in an S&P 500 fund. I mean, like, come on, you're good. And it's just something that I think you're right. That, I mean, I'm 55, and when I was growing up, it was like life insurance was like aluminum siding, like car dealers, like real estate agents. It was like, really, fuck you, life insurance. I don't need life insurance. But then, like, what really got me was my mom died. It'll be 2 years in February. She passed away, and she had no life insurance. Luckily, she had investments put away that she was fine. She was good. It was more than covered, her stuff. But if not, I mean, and again, I'm lucky that I do okay. But I would have had to come out of pocket. And we had her cremated, but to do everything like traveling, and I'm here, and she's from upstate New York, and you're still looking at 20, 30, 40 grand easy for that. So if you have nothing in terms of money, if you're just like living paycheck to paycheck, at the very least have a conversation, like they should have a conversation with you to say, what's $50,000 in life insurance coverage look like for me, or $100,000? Just the bare minimum.
No one's out of pocket. No one's going to get rich, but nobody's out of pocket for my expense, right? That's the bare bones, minimum, right? But like at least that. I want to talk about, not to bring up a terrible situation, but with your mother passing and not having life insurance. Tell me about that process of you actually obtaining those funds to cover the cost. Like, how long does that take? Was there a probate situation? Was there a will already in place? Was there a trust? What that look like?
Well, luckily, that I've been around long enough and I've been involved in thousands of real estate transactions and seen a lot of probate deals. When she was still good, but it was the beginning of her kind of heading down. I had her sign a living will and a whole, all the medical documents that she never had done. Had all that. The hospital helped me in Florida. They were great. And you need this, and this. So I got an attorney, in Florida, in Spring Hill, Florida, do all that for me. So when she did pass away, luckily her and I went to Chase Bank, and she had me put on her account. If that wouldn't have happened, it would have been a while. Her house, like when she passed away, I sold her house. That was probate. That had to go into probate so that was about 6 months. That happened. She was half owner of a woodworking company in upstate New York with her best friend. She owned it for 35 years. That was in probate for, I want to say, about a year. That was in probate, and it was hundreds of thousands of dollars. That without, so. If you think that, my mom has the money put aside, it's okay. I'll be fine to cover all the expenses when she passes away. No, unless you see that there's a trust, like a revocable trust in place, and you're named in there as a beneficiary, or there's a will and you're named as a beneficiary. Like in Florida, at least, the will really didn't mean that. And I had her do a will. If I had to do it again, I would have had her do a will and a trust. And again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not licensed to give legal information. I'm going off of just personal experience. But I have a trust set up for my stuff, and everyone should have a will and a trust.
And the only reason you have that is because of the experience you went through, right? I mean, it's not because you're like, you learned about this in high school or,
No.
in college. No, I had to go through some shitty shit to realize I don't want to get fucked that way. I don't want my family to get fucked that way. I'm going to make sure it's set up. But if you didn't go through that, if your mother was still alive, do you think you'd have any of those things in place? You probably wouldn't even have life insurance. I mean, that's
probably not.
That's the reality of it, right?
Yeah, probably not.
I wish that there was.
Yeah.
I guess my goal or my what I'm getting at, I wish there was a better education system in place, because it's really easy to understand why you need it when we have to go through these things.
Right.
But when you don't have to go through these things, it sometimes it can be hard for me to get through to people. So the unfortunate part is not everyone gets it.
You go down that rabbit hole, and it's like, I mean, I remember in college, I got an American Express card, and I remember everyone got them, and everybody was paying for drinks at the bar for like that month. Everybody was just like jamming paying for everything, and then the bill came. You're like, what? I have to pay this now? Because it's Amex, so you got to pay the whole thing right now. So I know of like 30 of my buddies. We all had shitty credit for like years because Amex just torched us, and they had a hot girl on campus right there,
of course,
signing you up, flirting with you, and you're like, okay, let's do this, and so, but no one teaches you about debt and managing debt. And it's the same thing with life insurance, and no one teaches you that, or to have a will or a trust set up. If you have any assets at all,
I'm too young.
Need to have those things.
I don't need this. I don't need it. It's like, okay, but you're gonna need it one day. You're gonna fucking die one day. And prime example.
Go ahead.
I just did a policy for a kid, and I call him a kid because he's 20 years old, young apprentice lineman, and he's putting away a pretty good amount of money, but not that much in the grand scheme of things of where he's at and where he's going. But because he's only 20 years old, the projections of that policy, he's going to be able to pull out $500,000 a year tax-free at age 65 for the rest of his life.
Awesome.
The same dollar amount for somebody 4 years older. 4 years older is $380,000 a year, which is still a lot of money. But just those 4 years, right, he's pulling out a shit ton more money. And it's like people don't learn about compounding interest. Nope. And it's like, dude, if you think you don't need it because you're young, you're looking at the wrong picture. Like, start younger. And I can go on fucking for days about that.
No, dude, I'll tell you, and my contribution to this conversation with that is that I spent time with my daughter yesterday because we did Christmas shopping. She wanted to buy stuff for people, and so I got her at the bus and took her around, and she's leaning to. She's a sophomore in high school now. She's halfway done, and she's leaning towards going into real estate and not going to college. And I've told her, I've said, honey, she's like almost a 4.0 student. And I said, you can go to UNLV here for almost a full ride. They have a real estate program. You could do that even. But if not, I'm lucky enough to know some of the best real estate agents here in town that you could apprentice under them. And so one of my best friends, Sherry Sagum, she's a realtor here, does very well, owns income properties, does the whole thing. And we called Sherry. I said, Sherry, Alex, my daughter Alex turns 16 next summer. Could she just kind of like shadow you for a couple days and see what you're doing and see if there's something? And Sherry's like, absolutely, she could. I'm happy to teach her. And because I talked to my daughter about it, and I said, honey, if I could do it all over again, I would have never gone to college. I would have gone into real estate immediately, and I would have taken I would have eaten rice and beans for 10 years and bought income properties over and over and over again. And the first one I'd buy would be an up and down or side-by-side duplex. I'd live in half. The other person lived in the other half to offset my mortgage, and I'd learn basic carpentry.
What's up, guys? I know you're enjoying the podcast, but I want to pause this. I want to bring some attention to my sponsors, Telone Tequila. I want to go over a few cool little facts with these guys. So they are from Las Vegas, and there's thousands of tequilas in the world. Telone is one out of only 40 tequila brands that owns their own distillery. So it's super unique. It's a big flex, right? It's really fucking cool. So based out of Las Vegas, super rad. Check them out. Use our discount code FINAD20, TeloneTequila.com.
Basic electricity, basic plumbing, to fix all that shit on my own. So I'm not hiring anybody, and then get that thing paid off or leverage that and buy two more. And
that's a great model. That's exactly what I think a lot of us would go back and redo. Now, here's a great conversation to have here. College. I never went to college. I don't know that I would have done well in college. I don't know. I had the opportunity to go and play baseball at college. I turned it down. And Now that I'm older and I see different things, I'm torn on sending my kids to college because at first I was like, fuck no, I didn't need it. You won't need it. You're my kids. You don't need college. But now I look at some of the networking opportunities at college and some of the things that, if you look at older people who have gone to college and they're like some gangster old people, like fucking at the clubhouse at 80 years old, fucking balling out, and they're there with their college buddy, right? And they're doing shit with their college buddy they met 60 years ago, taking shit to the grave, right? Like there's some really good connections you build, I think, with people in college that might be worth it alone. Fuck even graduating or, getting the certain degrees or whatever, but maybe some of that networking, I'm finding some possible value. My kids are 17 and 15. I'm definitely contemplating it. One of my kids would do better academically than the other one, but I mean, at the same time, it's like maybe there's some value there just in the networking side of things. But I truly believe in the needing to earn income. I don't think is necessary. You can go out there.
Yeah, I don't. I right now, unless you're going to college for something specific, like you're going to be a veterinarian, you're going to be a lawyer, you're going to be a CPA, you're going to be you're going to go into engineering. Absolutely go to college, but then you're going to at least get your master's, like at least, if not your PhD, to be make any kind of money and to be any type of like challenge to what you're doing. But if you don't know, like, dude, I drank and did bong hits. Like, come on,
Right.
And so when your buddy is the biggest weed dealer on campus, like it was hilarious. So. And this is back in the 80s and early 90s. Like, good heavens, this is the skunkiest, the sticky, icky stuff. And so I think that nowadays, especially with colleges and the liberal bias that's taken place in Ivy League schools, if you're burning the American flag, I don't care if Harvard was to call my daughter or son and say, you have a free ride to go here. And I would say,
fuck off. Yep.
Absolutely no way are you stepping foot on that place. How dare they?
Watch though. I think that in our lifetime, that's all going to change. I think that liberal fucking cancer that comes from colleges, I think that's going to die off. I think there's enough people are getting hip to that and they're saying, fuck no. I think that's going to change. I think it's been around for a while, but I think it's coming to a head. I mean, you can see what happened with the last election.
I agree. I think
it's changing.
That's definitely an absolute disgrace.
That's the reason I would be against college for that shit, but my kids are strong-minded enough to know not to fall for that shit. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. College is still kind of one of those things where I'm undecided what my kids are going to do.
Our job as parents is to teach our kids life lessons. Our job is not to be a friend or a best friend to our kids. It is to teach them life lessons that we've learned from the mistakes we've made. So hopefully they don't make the same mistakes. The hardest thing in the world is to not watch your kid fail, but to watch your kid fail and not do it for them.
Yeah.
To have the patience and to have the just determination that you're not going to do that. You need to let them fail forward and dust them off, pick them up, dust them off, and put them out in the world again to make more mistakes. But you've got to have just that, you've really got to know what you're doing and be patient with them. And I mean, I'm flattered. My daughter might change her mind 16 different times by the time she graduates high school. But for right now, if she says she wants to be a real estate agent, I'll make her the best goddamn real estate agent in Las Vegas within 2 years. She'll be like, she would be, because you get your license at 18. By the time she's 20 to 21, she'll have her first income property, guaranteed. Yeah. And I'll set that goal with her, and it won't be on January 1st.
Exactly. Fuck that. I love it.
That's the direction I want to see. I'm not going to give my kids anything in terms of wealth. I will help them. If they want to go to school, I'll pay for that because I don't want them saddled with debt. Sure. If she wants help with the first income property, I'll help with that. But
help's different than here it is. Help is like, if you're like, it's an old adage, right? If someone's on the side of the road with a fucking gallon of gas, like fuck off and keep driving. But if someone's on the side of the road pushing their car, I'm gonna get out and help them push. Right? Like
Same.
People want to help people who want to already help themselves. But,
absolutely. Absolutely. So it's just it's that you've got to get up and like we said before, the drive. And drive is something you can't really teach. Either you have it or you don't. And like going and just working out with my daughter now, 3 to 4 days a week at the gym, and she's 15, and she's becoming a savage in the gym and pushing herself. And meanwhile, I'm listening to like, AC/DC, and now you've got me turned on to Slayer, which is hilarious, right? And so, and she shows me her phone. She's listening to like Frank Sinatra and Broadway. she goes to a performing arts high school. She's a theater kid. She's listening to Broadway show tunes as she's doing leg presses.
That's awesome. At least she's in there, right? She's doing it. Whatever the fuck makes it work, it works. Yeah. That's funny you say that about the music, man. My son, I'm fortunate enough now to be at the house in the mornings now when he's getting ready for school, and he'll take his phone out, put it on the sink in the bathroom, and he's playing all the fucking music that he's heard me play over the years. He's playing the same shit. It's kind of, he's also into other shit too. He's into Suicide Boys and some really whack fucking, I'm like, what the fuck are we listening to? But then he's down with all the shit I've, bred into him. It's pretty cool watching your kids take pieces of you. They're not, my kids, not me. He's heavily influenced, obviously, but it's cool what things they pick up on, And the gym's a big one. Get your kid in the gym early.
There is no greater bonding experience than going to the gym with your son or daughter. Mm-hmm. And I mean, even like I've got my earbuds in, she's got her headphones on, but we're still talking. We're still like doing our thing and
interaction.
And even my son, who's about to be 9, he goes into the kids academy, and afterwards I have a cooler in my car, and my daughter and I have protein shakes in the shaker bottles. And my son has a sugar-free electrolyte drink that I get at Costco for him because he's too young he doesn't need the freaking protein drinks. But he's the bartender in the car, and he hands out the drinks to us.
That's awesome.
As we're in the parking lot, and that's how we all three of us recover from our workouts. And I cherish those moments, Anthony, as a dad.
Yeah, it's fun. Like my kid I was a single dad when I had Jackson, and guess where he was at with me? I still went to the gym. Diapers and all. I used to have to stop my fucking sets to come downstairs at Export because they'd tell me, hey, your son shit his pants. And they wouldn't change diapers. They do everything else, but they wouldn't change diapers. So I had to walk downstairs, put him in the bathroom, change his shitty fucking diaper, with my headphones on, fucking get him all cleaned up, back to daycare you go, back up to the squat rack, and, But then guess what? That's been his schedule his entire life is going to the gym, whether it's as daycare, and now it's going to the gym actually working out. So, I love that's one of the biggest things I passed on to him, and I can't see a situation where he ever doesn't go. That's just
to me.
Awesome.
To me, it is something that whether you're going to, the YMCA, or I'm lucky enough to go to a really nice facility, but that time that you're spending with your kid is I know I'll never forget it. I know that my kids will never forget it. And I know that like my son Jack, he's got we're all cursed with a belly in my family. All of us have it. We're all working on it. We're all big. Yeah. Even on my exes, the guys in her mom's side, all big guys with guts. And so Jack is gonna be a sheet of drywall with a red hair with a red head. He's a massive kid, and he's built like a brick shithouse. I mean, he's awesome. He does not like going to the gym. Like I pick him up from the bus. And he doesn't complain, but he's just like, oh. But then when he comes out, he's happy.
Yep.
He loves it.
You're like, welcome the rest of us who we're all the same way. Some of us dread going there. Once you're there, you're there.
I told him, I go, honey, you know what? A lot of times when I'm driving us to the gym, I don't want to go either. But I know I always feel better once I start my workout and I'm into it. I feel so much better about who I am. Yeah. And so we're all in it, but if whoever watches this, if you have kids, whether it's even going for a walk, but doing something physical with your children, I think forges an unbreakable bond that you have with them, and also passes on a little bit of a legacy that they will, it's a very good chance, pass on when they are parents with their kids.
Which is weird because it goes back to me not knowing how I have this stuff, because I never did any of that stuff with my parents. My parents were I would never consider my parents friends at all, ever. I never hung out with them. I never thought they were cool. I never wanted to go do anything with them. It was like they were my parents. Almost they were my adversary, right? Like I'm over here trying to live my life. They're restricting me. That was my parents' dynamic, right? And I was always trying to fucking win that battle. Now with my kids, it's nothing like that. It's much more like, hey, we're on the same team, and they see me working out and they see me doing these things. And they want to do those things. So I think that's a great change in the dynamics. And like you said, hopefully my kids are fucking Olympic athletes,
Well, it's the kids you see these days that are shits. It's because they have shitty parents. Because their parents would rather be on a cell phone or watching Netflix or, eating chocolate chip popcorn and sitting on the couch. Okay, but you're not a good person if that's what you're doing, because your kids are going to be dicks. And, you'll have one shot at this, but when you're a parent, you've got a front row seat to the greatest show in the world, watching your kid grow up. And that's part of you growing up. And even if your kids are adopted, it's still part of you that you're investing in that kid. And it's such a powerful, amazing position that you're put in. I love it. I love being a dad. It's awesome.
That same thing. And one thing I started doing recently is I started slowing down. I one-on-one, I'd ask my kids, hey, how am I doing? Get them, how am I doing? What do you think? In your eye, because I think I'm doing good. I mean, but I'm always going to think I'm doing good. That's me. It's my vision, my perspective. But how do you think I'm doing? And I give them, open opportunity to criticize. And 9 times out of 10, it's usually, you're doing good. No, this is good. What do you remember most? Or what do you remember this? It's kind of cool doing that.
It's good to have those little interviews with your kids and to let them say, and to give them just the openness for open disclosure and vulnerability to go, hey, how am I doing as your, what can I do better as your dad?
Don't get it twisted. I'm not taking all your input, but I'll let you at least say it.
Well, I tell my kids,
why I might be this way too. I'm not going to exactly.
I tell my kids, I go, look, I want your feedback on stuff. We might agree to disagree, but I value your opinion because I think you're incredibly intelligent and articulate. So let me know. There's one time I got on Jack about something, and I remember I called my daughter about it. I said, how did I handle that? She goes, you were rough on him. You jumped on him too much. Okay, well, why do you think that? And she gave me her reasons why. I gave her my reasons why, and I said, you know what, you're right. I could have dialed it down a little bit, but I still stand by what I did because of what he did.
Sure.
But to have that open and honest feedback, fast forward your kid 20 years from now and they're in the job, world. They're in the working world. And they have people working under them. And if they're doing that same type of methodology that to their employees or to their coworkers to go, hey, if I'm not doing something right, tell me. You're not going to offend me. Because everyone these days now everyone walks on eggshells. It's like, no, if I'm doing something wrong, if you have Google reviews and you've got 500 5-star reviews, how does that make you any better? All that does is validate your ego and ratify your business plan. But if you get 2 or 3 people that say you suck and here's 2 stars and they give you idiosyncratic detail, reasoning why, that's gold. It's gold
or if
for
they give you, there might be 5 you sucks and 3 of them are trolls, but the 2 that give you real reasons, maybe you listen to the 2 real reasons. Then you fuck around with the trolls a little bit. That's fun too, but also know that trolls aren't taking their time out of their day to fuck with you if there's not something good going on, right? Trolls are, if you don't have haters, you're not doing anything right.
Well, and the best hack to deal with trolls is what I do is take a screenshot of a negative comment or a review, put it in ChatGPT, and put that picture of the comment in ChatGPT and say, here's my brand. If it already knows you, you're in. But if it doesn't know you, here's my website. Here's my brand. Here's my website. Act as my social media manager. Create a firm yet funny reply to this not so nice comment or review, and have it create further engagement.
I'm going to say, hey, ChatGPT, go scorch earth on this motherfucker, find out where he lives, and drone strike his fucking house.
Oh, no. Deep breaths.
Woosah. Okay. I won't do that. Maybe I won't do that, but that would be fun if that technology existed. Wink, wink.
It does. It's just not ChatGPT. There's other platforms out there, I think, that ChatGPT's gotten a little woke, but it can. And to put a button on, to put a pin in that one, it is also, once you prompt ChatGPT for that, and this is for anything, go back to it and say, is that the best you can do?
Ooh, nice. Okay.
and then
I do like, yeah.
it'll make it even better.
My favorite thing to use ChatGPT for is emails, and introductory emails, right? If I'm introducing two parties, I want to sound, intelligent, not pompous, not some fucking righteous dickhead, but like intelligent, and I want to boost them both up, right? So I always say, here, rewrite. I'll type out I'll type out my brain into a fucking email. I'll copy and paste it, ChatGPT. Rewrite this as an introductory email, highlighting so and so's skills here, highlighting someone here, whatever. And I love what it does back. And I'll say, okay, tone that down to make it easier reading or something, right? If it's too much, and it does such a fucking good job. And I think that to wrap this up, I don't think AI is not taking anybody's job, but I think that somebody with AI will take your job if you're not utilizing it as a tool.
You can. It gives you more time. I'm on AI. I'm on multiple AI platforms all day long for my marketing company, for my podcast, and what it does for me is like, okay, here's a clip for you. Get ready. Your editor's going to start right now. If you have a podcast and you want to get the best episode from your guest of your podcast, you want to have a pre-production meeting with the guest, use Google Meet or Zoom, and use otter.ai to do a transcript in real time of the talk that you're having with that guest. Talk to that guest about what are some things you've always wanted to talk about but never have on a podcast before? What are some things you want to stay away from that you just don't want to talk about? What are some things that you want to let the audience know about you that you really haven't talked about a lot of? Those are the basic questions you have in that conversation.
Yeah.
And you stop it. You take that transcript, which Otter AI produces, you put it into ChatGPT and say, the following is a transcript I have with Jane Doe, and create 10 insightful questions from this transcript that Jane will say, oh my God, that's a great question.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And give me your reasoning for each question afterwards. And then when it gives you the 10 questions, say, is that the best you can do?
That's awesome. Hell yeah. So you're really squeezing out everything you can out of.
And so that literally, if you're a podcaster, that becomes your production notes. That becomes your questions for your podcast episode. But that can be used in job interviews. That could be used for if you're going in to try to get a sale with somebody to get information on them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody now leaves a digital footprint. So you can use AI to scrub the World Wide Web to get all the information on them, find out what their pain points are, find out how you can overcome those pain points. That's what I customize all my marketing decks now. And I just started doing it, and it's awesome. I put little personalized stuff in each slide about that person that I found online.
That's awesome.
And they love it. So yeah.
Yeah. AI, like I said, AI is not taking your job, but Jeff Fargo with AI is taking your fucking job.
I'm going to eat your fucking lunch all day long. That is a fait accompli. It's a done deal. I have my close rate has gone up substantially in the past 3 months with clients since I've been using AI.
Right on. I love it. Yeah. Well, I think we got to wrap this up. This is fucking awesome. I think this was a great first virtual podcast. I'm glad to have the Financial Advisory Podcast back on, because when you're doing something, you think you're doing okay, and then you stop doing it, and then people start asking you about it, like, oh, I was doing good. Like, it was kind of cool. So I got a lot of feedback about, where is this at, where it's going on. I've caught up to all the episodes. I fucking need this. So having that, people ask for it, and now the ability to reach more guests, I'm pumped on this. And even before the fucking 2025 new year, I'm already ahead of the game, and I'm going to have cranking out episodes again. So thanks for coming on, Jeff. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to where you're going to be in the next few years with AI.
Ditto. Thank you, my friend.
I appreciate it, man. We'll see you.